everyone, welcome to my channel called The Needlewoman. Welcome to all my current subscribers and welcome to anyone who's just maybe randomly watching this video. Hopefully you will become subscribers in the future and hopefully you like the content. Today's video is going to be about the single bed color changer for the brother knitting machine called the KHC 820, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to install it on your knitting machine if you have it. Here I have all the bits and pieces that should have come with your color changer, and I'm quickly going to go through them, tell you what they're called and a little bit about what they are or what they do. So we have the sinker plate, and this is what you have to change on your knitting carriage. So you have to remove your regular sinker plate and put this one, and you can see that it is the sinker plate you use with the color changer by this quite distinct feature at the front here with this sort of two round kind of pins, I guess, not sure what you would call it. And if you compare it to the regular sinker plate, you can see that they're quite different. With the regular sinker plate, you have yarn feeder A and yarn feeder B, so you can use two colors to knit with it, so you can do Fair Isle. But if you're using the color changer, you actually have the ability to have 4 different yarns, 4 different colors. And with this sinker plate, you can see that you still have yarn feeder A and yarn feeder B, but it kind of works a little bit differently to the other sinker plate, and I will show you in another video of how it actually works. Oops. So the next part you have is the yarn roller, and you can see here that you have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, so that is where you can thread your 4 yarns into. And then this piece here is called simply the arm, and this is how you connect your color changer to your knitting bed. This piece here you may or may not have. It is called the KHC arm connector. So these two pieces here, the arm and the arm connector, work together, and it gives you the ability to connect your color changer to your knitting bed without removing your ribber. So if you don't have this piece here, you have to fully remove your ribber from your knitting bed, and it kind of makes it a little bit annoying, you know. So if you do have this piece, all you have to do is drop the ribber down and then you can use the color changer. Now this piece here is called the yarn tension setting stand, and if you're using 4 yarns, you need to have another tension unit or yarn mast, which is what this is, and that should have come with your color changer. It is pretty much identical to the yarn mast setup that came with your knitting machine, so it is just an extra one so that you can have 4 yarns. And this sort of pops onto the side of your machine, and then you can slot that yarn mast in that little slot there. And these things here are called the wheel brushes. So they are only used for tuck knitting. I'll show you at the bottom of the sinker plate. So at the moment, you may have little rubber wheels here, or in my case, I have little brushes as well. I haven't really seen any difference between having wheel or rubber brushes with my regular knitting, so I might have to just do a little bit of experimenting to see if it causes any changes on this particular sinker plate. But these little wheel brushes, so if you are tuck knitting, they get attached to this slot here. So you do not use them in any other circumstance unless you are doing tuck knitting, and that is where they attach. And then we also have the punch cards. So there are some punch cards in your regular set that can do Fair Isle, but if you bought the color changer, you get another 10 bonus punch cards. They're numbered from 31 to 40, and they have the little mark on them that says KHC, so they particularly came with the color changer. And I think that's all the bits and pieces that I have to go through. So next I'm going to show you how it actually all attaches and where it goes. Now I'm going to show you how to set up the yarn tension setting stand, which is this little piece here. You can see on the side of my machine here, there's a little kind of a groove, and that is where this piece just slots in, and then you just tighten this screw, and that's pretty secure. And then you get your yarn mast, tension unit, whatever you want to call it, whatever they keep calling it different names in different books, that just slots in here. And if your machine is on an angle, like my machine is, because I have the ribber attached, then the angle here has to be sort of facing that way. Your yarn mast rod must be leaning a bit more to the front towards your machine. If your machine is flat on like a table or something like that, you don't have a ribber attached, then you have to flip it the other way so that the mast is kind of leaning more that way. If your machine is like mine at an angle, then it will actually lean too far back. So you have to make sure that you are facing it this way, and then it just simply slots in there, and that is it. Now you'll notice that it is actually on a kind of an angle. This little slot in here, it doesn't face straight that way, like it's not perpendicular to the machine. It is facing a little bit away, kind of towards the left of the machine. But that is the way it's supposed to be set up, I guess. And it's a little bit different to the other yarn mast. But yeah, that's the way it is, and that's how it works. Now we have the arm and the yarn roller. They get connected together. So the arm, you can see on this end here, has these little protrusions, and they will fit into these holes here. So that slots in there like that. And then we have this little screw that fits in there. Hopefully you can see that. My hands are getting in the way a little bit. And that just tightens like that. And then I'll show you the next part. So now we have to connect the color changer to the knitting bed, and this is where this extra part, the KHC arm connector, comes into play. So previously you would have had to remove your ribber completely from your knitting bed, because the color changer would slot into this section here, and it won't do that if the ribber is actually in there. So you'd have to remove the ribber and then slot this in here and then tighten it with the same screw. But now we actually have this extra bit here, and I'll try and show you how they slot in together. So we have this part, and we have this part here, and they slot in together like that. So now this is connected together. It is one piece, and what we do now is, let's see, so this is actually like a little clamp. You can see if you squeeze here, that opens up, and what you do is find where the sponge bar is, and then clip that and push it into the slot where the sponge bar actually goes. And now this is clipped on the side, and you don't have to remove the ribber. You just drop it down so it's out of the way. And it's a little bit loose, but I don't actually see a way of making it any tighter. You just have to bear in mind, and you will see in the video when I do how to use the color changer, that the fact that this is a little bit loose can cause some issues, but you just have to keep an eye on it when you are changing your yarns. A bit of a bonus at the end of this video, I've managed to track down another piece of equipment that was made for the brother knitting machines, and I've literally just come back from the post office. I've literally just picked it up. I didn't actually expect it to arrive today, so it's kind of timely because I can add it to the end of this video as a little surprise, which I'm going to reveal in a minute. And it's very timely because this is actually a double bed color changer. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned that I'm pretty sure I don't have this. Well, guess what? Now I do. And it actually has come with a manual, which my other color changer did not, so I had to track down a manual online, which is super easy. But at least, you know, this one's already here and I don't have to. And now I have to try and work out how to use it, and I'm sure there's going to be a video about that, so stay tuned.